This is everything I decided to remove from my life. Clothes I never wore, old technology, subscriptions, social media, noise. Over time, I realized that clutter isn't only physical. It lives in our attention, our habits, and the endless feeling that we should always be doing more. Hello, I'm Simon, and in this video, I'll show you how Essentialism changed the way I structure my space, my digital life, and my decisions, by focusing on less but better. It eventually led to a decision I never thought I would make as a creative professional, leaving Instagram. I structured this video into 3 chapters, so feel free to jump to the part that interests you the most. Let's start with chapter 1, the problem. About 4 years ago, during lockdown, I came across a book called Essentialism by Greg McKeown, and it completely changed the way I think about attention, work, and daily life. The core premise is simple. Imagine your energy like this, spread thin everywhere. But what if your life could look like this? Most of us live by an unspoken cultural myth that we can have it all, do it all, fit it all in. That's a trap. There are 3 truths connected to Essentialism. The first one is choice. We always have the power to choose where our energy goes. Most of us have simply forgotten this. We feel obliged, pressured, and trapped. Reclaiming that awareness is the first step. The second truth, almost everything is noise. Very few things are genuinely valuable. Our job is to find the 20% that drive the 80% and protect them by all means. And the third, trade-off. Every yes is a no to something else, and that's okay. By trying to do everything, we end up doing nothing well. You can also see it like this. It's about I choose to rather than I have to. It's about only a few things matter instead of everything matters. In short, if it's not a hell yes, it's a hell no. So far so good. My inner German engineer loves this.
Oh my god! Wow!
But why does this matter now? Why should you care about simplifying your life? Well, let me explain while moving on to chapter 2, decluttering your space. So here's my goal. Decluttering my entire space without spending a single cent. The point of decluttering is not to buy something new. The problem is, I live in a small 2-room apartment in the middle of the city. Since space is a hard constraint, I need to be ruthless and creative. Take my wardrobe, for example. Since decluttering the last time, I accumulated far more than I need. The goal is a capsule wardrobe I can pull from without thinking. So I put everything I have in one big pile on the bed. At the moment I'm done, I'm shocked.
Oh my.
I always thought I kept things lean, and I was wrong. The sheer amount makes me aware that sorting out things because you have too many is an extraordinary privilege. Reducing what I own to only what's essential and donating the rest feels like the least I can do to honor that privilege. For every piece, I ask 3 questions. When did I last use this? Do I use it regularly? Does it bring me joy? If the answer is a long time ago and no, it goes. The hardest calls are emotional ones. This jacket, for instance. I wore it when I used to play concerts. It even made it into my first music video. But it's time to let it go. After a few hours, I'm through all my clothes. Most of it gets donated, a few selected pieces I will sell. Next, the bookshelf. Essentialism isn't sterile minimalism for its own sake. It's about discovering what actually matters. And books matter to me. I could live with almost nothing. Minimal clothes, minimal tech, but I could never bring myself to throw away a book. For me, collecting them is essential. But over the past years, my bookshelf became a mess. I ran out of space for new books, and I always shied away from resorting it so I can use all the space efficiently. No space left for new books, sections I had avoided reorganizing for years. To start, I pull everything out and sketch a plan to see how I can restructure this. I rebuilt the whole collection from scratch. Fiction sorted by author's name, non-fiction by topic. Eventually, everything has a home. Except for those 4 boxes at the bottom. I think most people have at least one box like this. cables, chargers, old adapters, forgotten electronics. Well, I have too. The hardest part is always starting, but once I'm in it, I notice something interesting. I feel like I'm not only sorting a box, but actually my mind and soul. And having a clear mind in times of noise is a huge perk. So I do the same for my kitchen, my entrance, my balcony. And the more I declutter, the more I develop the wish to do the same thing for my digital life. Because I notice that the cleaner my environment becomes, the easier it is to rest. And rest is actually where all of this leads. Which brings us to the sponsor of this video, Fitnexa. They sent me their Somnipods 3. In-ear headphones designed specifically for sleep, and I've been testing them for about a month now. What I liked most is that they fit naturally into the kind of calmer evening routine I'm trying to build. The noise cancellation helped reduce the sound from the street outside, while the app gave me access to white noise, meditation, and relaxing audio to slow down after a long workday. I'm also a side sleeper, so I appreciated that they feel much flatter and lighter than regular earbuds. And because I try to keep my phone outside the bedroom whenever possible, I like that the connection still worked smoothly from the next room. The app can also track sleep data and offer personalized wellness suggestions through its AI coach to help build more consistent nighttime habits. If better sleep or simply a quieter evening is something you're working on too, you can check out the link in the description for the current offer. Thanks again to Fitnexa for supporting this video. So, can we apply the same principle to our digital life and subscriptions as to our physical space? How to decide what's essential? This brings us to chapter 3, leaving Instagram. In my first video, I already talked about how I eliminated most productivity tools by simply using analog notebooks. It's easier and condenses my tools down to the essential without overthinking. My main problems are social media and my digital subscriptions. The noise I'm dealing with every day is something I thought about a lot the past months. I think that the ability to control your attention and what you actually give it to might be one of the most valuable skills in modern life. I struggle with it daily. Most of us do. The more I thought about attention control, the more I realized this philosophy had already shaped other parts of my life too. I haven't had any alcohol since I was 16, so for about 11 years now. I've never smoked a cigarette, I've never taken drugs, and I've also never drunk coffee. Not because I built some strict system around it, but more because I noticed early on that I tend to function best with less external stimulation and fewer things that pull on my attention or change my state of mind. It's just something that, over time, naturally aligned with the way I try to live. So, I took inventory. I cancelled my Netflix and Amazon Prime since I didn't use it anyway. I replaced it with a self-hosted Jellyfin server. Think of it as your own personal Netflix at home. And suddenly, I had 38 extra euros every month for things I actually valued. I used that money to get a card for my local library, where I can borrow movies, books, ebooks, games, and even physical tools. And according to my Letterboxd, I've watched more films since quitting Netflix than in the 6 months before. On the other hand, I decided to keep YouTube. It's my #1 learning platform, and for obvious reasons, I'm not going to walk away from it. And the big one. I decided to leave Instagram. I always told myself Instagram would keep me connected to friends and help me share my work. But what it actually kept me connected was the algorithm. I used it maybe 10 to 15 minutes a day, so not much. The problem wasn't the time I spent there. It was the state of mind I left with. Nearly every time I closed the app, I felt worse than when I opened it. This was the signal I couldn't ignore anymore. But the problem was, I still wanted a place to share my photographs and thoughts with a group of friends and followers. So I decided to replace my Instagram with a good old newsletter. I opened a Substack, just started writing, and announced a date on Instagram when I'll delete my account. This is an experiment, and at the time of recording this video, my Instagram account isn't deleted yet. But if you want more on the story or digital minimalism in general, let me know. Oh, Yeah, and the newsletter is called Warmly Simon, a weekly letter about focus, creativity, and living intentionally. Link in the description. More than any physical or digital declutter, essentialism is a daily practice, a discipline, not something you do every 2 years. Essentialism is about deliberate choice, about who gets your time and your energy and why. And please remember, it doesn't need to be perfect. I am certainly not, but I will continue to try. Focusing on what's essential has helped me live a more joyful, more present life. And that's the whole point. Maybe a meaningful life isn't built by adding more and more. Maybe it's built by learning what deserves to remain. Thanks again to fitnexa for sponsoring the video. You will find the Somnipods link in the description. With that said, go and create something great. See you next time.